It's Louise Faye for VIP Boxing, and I am joined this Sunday morning with Leon Entwistle, fresh from Bolton Stadium last night. How are you doing?
Fresh as it is, yeah. Good, I'm
You
good.
look it.
Yeah, thanks.
You look like you were there watching a fight, not fighting.
No, yeah, well, that were you watching from home, wasn't it? You were missed.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
I was looking out for you. I couldn't see you anywhere.
Oh, well, do you know what? I watched every second of your fight, which is rare because normally by the time you're fighting, I've been dragged here and there and I'm interviewing and
Yeah,
stuff. So as much as I wasn't in the thick of the atmosphere last night, it was nice to watch the full fight. And
yeah.
let's just get straight onto it, mate. Jake Osgood, full fight, straight back to winning ways. The
That's
Leon
it,
that we
yeah.
know and love.
I know, yeah. Well, I knew what needed to be done, I've been, past 8 nights in camp. I've just been working sorry, someone's ringing me.
That's your adoring fans, Leon, after the senior performance last night.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's come back.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, last 8, 9 weeks in camp or so, just been training hard. I knew what needed to be done. Taking a loss from last time, it was hard getting back into the swing of things. I feel like when you've been beat and you're in that dark place because you're thinking, I've took a loss early on in my career. What am I going to do now? I was close, I was this close to just walking away from it all and just cracking on. Like, you could have just worked full time in scaffolding and just crack on with that. But I don't know, there was just something in me that I thought, no, we're going to give it another go. And, I just worked really hard and I knew that I needed to get that win under my belt and, in a good fashion as well, which I feel like I did. I just stuck it on him from first bell till the last. And, I didn't get him out of there, but he were a tough, durable guy. And nonetheless, I'm happy with my performance. I would say it was my best performance yet.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Leon. I think the maturity that you showed, the way that you've adapted, the way that you've come back, it was all evident last night. And you came out with intention.
Yeah.
And you'd said to Lee in the pre-fight interview, you'd got a job to do and you'd got to go out and do it well. And I absolutely think you did. And the commentary team certainly felt like that as well. But just picking up on what you said there about, almost hanging up the gloves, really. Let's just put this into perspective because you took a step up when you boxed Reese. So
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, this loss came about through a fantastic fight at Farnworth with VIP's Reese Woods. And this was a step up for you very early on in your career. And this time of your career should be the learning fights. It should be the Jake Osgoods of the boxing world that you box in. But you didn't. You took that fight very early on in your career. And you did give a good account of yourself, Leon. But the fact that you've gone away and it's hurt your pride and you've come back and you've come back stronger. I've just said to you off camera, for me, that's it. It's more than one tick in the box, isn't it? Because you've questioned whether you're in a space that you belong, but you've absolutely owned that space for the last 10 weeks of camp and gone out there and put a performance on last night.
Yeah, well, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? It weren't the result I wanted. It was 5.5 months ago, I think. It weren't what we wanted, but it was what we got. And it was how I dealt with it afterwards. I could either just walk away and not know what I could have made of myself afterwards, or I could have come back and got my head down in the gym and just cracked on. And one thing for me was letting things out in the ring, what I've been working on in the gym. I feel like in my previous fights I hadn't really done that, and last night I did do that. I've been working on so many things like cutting the angles, cutting the ring down, creating angles, letting my hands go, because that's the kind of stuff I do in the gym. And to let it out on fight night, you can't fault you. Well, obviously there's a few faults, but you can't really criticize yourself too much because you've done what you've been working on.
You've literally just taken the words off my page from what I was writing last night. First round, absolutely, you came out with intent. Might have rushed your work a little bit in that first round, but you settled into it, and you started, like you just said, to cut off the ring, and you started to find those angles, and then it just looked nice and free flowing.
Yeah.
You seemed to start to really enjoy it, actually.
Yeah, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it a lot. You know, I'm
And
just.
what did the boys say? What was Johnny and
He just told he just told me like before we went out. He went, listen, you've worked hard. Just go out there and enjoy yourself. You know. And then I just thought, you know, like no one's making me do this. I've chose to do it. I think this every time I'm about to go to do sprints or an hill run or whatever. Like I don't have to do this. Like I want to do it. You know. It's so if you have that mindset, you know, you've got to enjoy it.
yeah?
Like it's not a chore. It's, you know, it's something I love doing. So you got to show that in the ring. You know, you just got to be comfortable. And you know, it weren't an easy night's work last night. You know, it was still a tough game operator. You know, he was egging me on. I had him up against the ropes, and I was hitting him with shots, and he was talking to me. He was trying to wind me up.
What did he say to you in the second round? Because he was really trying to goad you, and and I saw a little smile on your face, but you just didn't let it get to you, and just cracked on with your work. But I did want to ask you.
Yeah, I can't remember. He said so much. Like, I think compared to the amount of punches he must have threw, compared to the amount of words that he spoke, I don't know, ratio must have been 10-1. But yeah, I had to keep a cool head and not let myself get angry in there, because you know, when you start losing your head and you start making mistakes and getting caught with silly shots. But yeah, you know, just stuck to my plan, and you know, just carried on, stuck it on him, and got a good win.
So you stuck to the plan. What is the plan next?
Plan next is just probably have a cup of tea and biscuits when I get home.
You've already got a Costa. I'm jealous. How come?
Oh yeah.
I'm not liking this virtual business.
Well, yeah, you know, this is what happens when you do it over Zoom calls.
Uncle Steve, get me back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be back in the gym tomorrow. You know, I'm not gonna really have any time off. I don't see the point. You know.
Card Bolton November, I think.
Yeah, I think I spoke to Steve Lillis last night after the show. I think there's a show on November 22nd.
Yes.
I just need to renew my medical. It's ran out now. It ran out today, so I've got to renew that, and hopefully, if it all gets sorted in time, which it probably should, because it's like 10, 11 weeks away. Hopefully I'll ask Steve if I can get on that.
Yeah, I think we've got another one at Farnworth in December as well, failing that, but
all right,
surely get you out.
Yeah, nice. It'd definitely be good to get out before the end of the year, 100%. You know, just want to stay active.
Yes, and that's the key, isn't it? That is absolutely the key. Quick mention on your stablemate who headlined last night, and Ash Maron. He dug in on that first round, didn't he? And come back.
Yeah, you know what? I couldn't be any more proud of him. You know, he's worked hard. He's worked very hard in the gym. I've seen it with my own eyes. You know, he's a grafter, and he deserves that. And I knew as soon as he got up, I thought he'll be fine.
Like, you could see it. He looked over at Jamie and Johnny, didn't he? And he was just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, the way he carries himself outside the gym, and you know, everything else he does, I knew as soon as he got up from that and he shakes himself off, he'll be fine, because he's trained himself where he can go through them hard times and get through them.
Yeah.
And Lee Hogan's ringing me now.
You know what? I've had my phone on silent, but interestingly enough, he's phoned me too. That's funny. I know that Lee will be ringing you to congratulate you. He likes to speak to all the fighters, doesn't he, on a Sunday morning, because it's super busy on fight night. Did you see the Canelo Crawford?
I didn't, you know, I tried staying up for it, but I was just knackered. I thought, I can't do this, mate. I'm going to sleep. And then I fell asleep. I woke up and then seen that Crawford done a job on him.
Well, I'm just going to say it here first. For all those that were on the YouTube channel last night and asked me for my predictions, I called it, guys.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win. I thought we were going to beat him, and he did. Yeah,
Yeah, fantastic result. But fantastic result for you, Leon.
yeah,
And I will hopefully get down to Beaushore sooner rather than later and see you guys in the gym. It's always nice to come and see you there.
yeah.
But
I'll have a Costa waiting for you this time.
I've got it on camera now.
All right.
Thanks so much, Leon.
Nice one.
Congratulations. Back to
Cheers,
you,
Luke.
mate.
All right. See you later.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.